Alright, so I have brought the cattle panel over, and because I put in this part across the back, it won't fit the cattle panel correctly. So all I need to do is notch both corners for either side. So I'm going to use the bolt cutters to do that, since I only have a few cuts to make. You could also use a cut-off saw to cut this pretty easily. Doing this out in the yard, be sure you pick up any of this metal, because your mower will not like it. Next, with those corners notched out, I should be able to stand up the first panel, form the arch for the roof. Be a little tricky with one person, but it is doable. I'm just going to pull it over so that fits in the slot there. I'm going to begin to arch it. I may even have to get in the middle on this one. There we go. First one is up. Next is the middle panel, which I don't have to notch. Because I do want these going the same direction, so what I mean by that are these runners going the same direction, either on the inside or the outside. The side runners are on the inside, so I need to flip this one over. So they're going the same way. That just helps the tarp go over at the end better. Pull that over so it's on that ledge, and stand it up. All right, there we go. Slide them over so they butt up against each other. Just like that. Perfect. Well, on the last panel, I'm going to have to cut. So right now it's laying flat, but I'm going to cut this here so when it stands up, it will clear this front board. Then I'll have to cut the front one off, probably on the corner right here, and then we can stand it up. And I'll do the same on both sides. Alright, so on the side where the panel is longer than the frame, you can see how I cut those. I just used the bolt cutters, made 3 little cuts, and put those on there so that it will fit. Just like that. In the end, these are going to be covered with the chicken wire, and we can do any other trimming that we need to do on those parts so we don't have too many sharp edges sticking out. But now all 3 hoops are on. The next part is we're going to secure the hoops, the cattle panels, to the bottom rail. You can use those horseshoe nails or fencing nails to do this, but I find that they do pull out, especially when you're moving this all the time. They just tend to wear and move out. So that's where I'm going to use these 1 5/8" wood screws. So I'm going to put one right above and not screw it all the way in, just like that, on the upright, and then I'll put one right next to that facing down. So I'll do that about every third or fourth piece, And that secures these in really nicely. And again, these wood screws won't pull out like I have found the U-nails or fence nails do. So again, just put one in through that side and another one straight down next to it, the opposite direction. And that secures those. It will not come out. And where the panels join together, basically going to do the same thing. But this panel actually was broken on the corner right there. I guess it looks like the welder had melted that piece of the fence. So I'm going to do one here, and then one next to it, just like I did the other ones. And then I'll do this one right here. So I'm just alternating those as I go around. Like that. You can see how those go. They are nice and secure, and that panel will not come off that board. So that's my experience. It works really well. So I'm going to do that on the rest of these, and we'll get back to you in a minute. If you've never used these before, they are absolutely an amazing invention. These little shoat rings and the tool that it puts them on. So you just slide this in there, and then we're going to squeeze that together around the wires we want to connect. So right now I'm going to connect the panels together so that they're more stable and less movement in those. So basically you want to get it to where your panels line up. It's hard to do one-handed here. Let's see if I can manage one. Let's get one where they're closer together. So this one right here, just put it around it and squeeze, just like that. So we're going to do that about 4 on each one of these panels to secure them, and then we'll also use those to put the chicken wire on when we're done. It's nice, these 16-foot panels on this 12 by 8 frame give me plenty of headroom to walk around, so not a problem as far as height and being able to get in here and do what we need to with the chickens. And now these shoat rings or hog rings are about every other spot on the panels to hold those securely together. Those guys are really tough. I have not yet had any of these come apart. On the back, what I'm going to do here is I had a fourth panel, one that I happen to have on hand. It was used in our gardening area. Is I've just set it on the ground and lined it up, and then I'll use the shoat rings again to attach the back panel to this panel, and we should be good to go. Once I get that attached, then I will cut off the extra piece, and then the extra piece will do the same thing again to put across here on the back. Hello, Hollywood. The boss came to make sure I was doing it right.
Oh, it's bright.
So I got the back panels on, and I cut off the excess, and I did use the U-nails or fence nails down there along the bottom, and the shoat rings all the way around the sides to secure the back onto that frame. So it's pretty rugged. It is not going anywhere. So the next step is I'm going to take the 24-inch hardware cloth and make the door in the door frame. So since this is 24, leaving a little bit of space on either side, I'm going to end up with a 26-inch doorway. So 26 inches, that leaves me about an inch on either side when I make the door wider than the hardware cloth. So I made a mark in the center of the 8-foot at 4 feet. There's a mark there. And then 13.5 inches on either side to give me a 1/4 inch of space for hinges and just so the door opens and closes well. Then I squared it at the bottom, and I put a mark at the top where these 2x4s will be, and then there'll be a 26.5 inch 2x4 between these two right there, and we will square that up and secure it to the frame. So those are the next steps. There's the door frame. Door frame is put in. So I'll use the wood screws, the 3-inch wood screws, and put in the post uprights mounted there. And at the top, I cut them to length. This side, hit those just right and hit the arch right there. And this one was a little bit longer. Just kind of have to play with how these uprights of the door frame will land on your wire. And then this is level, so I leveled this so it's nice and straight across the top. Put screws in from the side, and to keep it square, so I used the square down here on the bottom to square the frame. And once it was square and in position, I used the fencing nails around the panel to secure it on both sides at the top. So we've done that in the past, and that's always worked very well and stays secure. So there we go. Now it's on to the door.